It's more. It's morning. Good morning, everyone. Rita here, doing my morning Facebook Live. And today I wanted to talk about a little trip I took yesterday, which really highlighted for me how to shift from a state of consciousness where you're feeling worried and anticipating issues and a little anxious and dreading to a sense of let's see what happens, adventure, innovation, feeling more relaxed. So imagine if you're going through your life instead of worrying, anticipating all the problems, doing that mental chess playing game into a more relaxed, let's see what happens. It's all going to come out okay. Let's have an adventure with this attitude. And the way it came up was my brother had asked me to pick him up at the airport yesterday around 5 o'clock. And I had known this was happening for about a week. And I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to do that for him. And yet there was another part of my brain that was just like, oh, going to the airport. You always feel a little confused when you go there. There's a lot of traffic. People get a little aggressive. And I could feel a lot of anxiety coming up. How am I going to figure out dinner because it's right around dinner time and all that stuff. My brain was on overload with all the things that could go wrong and how nervous I should be and how I should, maybe just say no or make an excuse. But the larger part of me didn't want to do that. The larger part of me was just like, I'm tired of making excuses for things that I know I can do and that I want to do, but there's maybe a little bit of fear or anxiety or worry going on. So I decided I am going to do it. Come hell or high water, I am going to go do that. I feel like I want to do it. It's not that big a deal, and it would be good for me to be on the other side of that whole like, I don't know if I want to drive in traffic stuff. So whatever your worry is, it may not be going to the airport during high traffic time. It could be a million other things. It could be maybe being with certain people. It could be having a difficult phone call. It could be driving somewhere. It could be flying somewhere. It could be staying somewhere. Whatever it is, it could be going to the doctor. Whatever it is that brings up a lot of fear and anxiety in you and stress, and yet you kind of feel like I need to do this. I need to do this, and you're wondering how am I going to get through it? It's going to be so uncomfortable. So this is what I did. Here are some of the tips. One is I made sure I had plenty of time to do it. In other words, I made sure that I was supported by my environment. I made sure I had a full tank of gas. I made sure that, in this case, the dinner was taken care of. Someone else, I started it, and one of my children was going to monitor it so it didn't burn so we would have a dinner. And I even thought we could even do takeout if we need to. That was not something that was extra on my plate to occupy my mind to worry about. And then I just rehearsed it in my mind, like, okay, so there may be a lot of cars on the road. That'll just slow things down. No big deal. I won't have to make sudden decisions. I'll be just like gradually going there. It's going to be okay. I can use the GPS. I will eventually get there. So a lot of that really helped. And that can help in any situation where you're feeling fear. And then the other thing I noticed was I started doing my connecting with my body, connecting with my breath. In positive intelligence, they call these PQ reps, where you're doing repetition of some mindfulness exercises. And as I got closer and closer to the airport, I knew where I was going. That was the other thing. I made sure I was going to the right terminal. And I had gotten a text from my brother saying, we're at this place. We'll be waiting for you. So great. I knew exactly where he was going to be. And by the time I got to the airport, even though you have to make a million little decisions, this lane, that lane, are you going in the right place? And, cars are weaving in and out. I felt more and more relaxed, like, okay, we know what we're doing here. This is okay. And I felt more and more like I was on an adventure. and less like a nail biting situation. And the more I felt like I was on an adventure, the more relaxed I got. And it turned out there was a lot of traffic, but you know what? I texted my brother and said, "I'm here. I'm just online waiting for you." And they're like, "Okay, where we're at." And eventually I got there, and they were so grateful for me to pick them up. And I was just like, you know what? It was a little adventure in my day, and I really meant it. I really meant it. This was an adventure in my day, not a big hassle, not a big worry. It was a pleasure for me to do it. And then, of course, the other thing that would occupy my mind is like, I hope I get on the right lane to go to the right place on the way back. And they were like, all right, we're going to guide you out of here, because sometimes it can be tricky. And so I was just under their guidance. I just followed what they said, and it was fine. And I just thought, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad because it allowed me to give myself permission to shift from white knuckling it into, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen next. And we're going to be okay. And this is just a big adventure. So, a small instance of how you can shift, but I think this can apply to almost anything that you are going through that brings up overwhelm or stress to you. It doesn't have to be a trip to the airport. You can apply it anywhere, which is give yourself plenty of time. Make sure you're supported by your environment. Do those exercises where you come back to your body, come back to your breath. Take it one step at a time. And see if you can have the capacity to say, this could be an adventure. I'm going to grow through this. And I promise you, even if things go completely bonkers, you'll come out the other end going, I got through that. That was an adventure. I learned something. If you are interested in knowing more about how to do that in your life in all different aspects, and you're a stressed out professional mom, I invite you to a free presentation I'm giving on April 11th, several times on April 11th, and then one time on April 13th. It's the same presentation. It takes about 40 minutes, and you can go right on my website, becomingawake.com, go to events, and you'll see several different repetitions of the presentation that you can go to live completely free, where I'm going to step by step show you how the brain shifts from one to another. We'll be doing some exercises together, and then if you want to know more, you can know more. Completely free. I think it's going to hopefully be informative to you if you haven't heard of it before. I know it kind of blew my mind a little bit when I first heard about it. So if you're interested, I will put the link down below, and you can go on my website and sign up for one of those events. I would love to meet you and love to show you more about how the brain works between the parts that want to sabotage you and the parts that want to support you. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon, and maybe I'll see you on the 11th or the 13th. Bye-bye.